All right, hey, welcome back to Car Talks, where I rant, ramble, rave, and word about my thoughts on training, life, and fitness. And thinking about today, the squat for strength and the squat for athleticism. Because I think, there's all these debates on, squatting and heavy squatting and bilateral squatting versus unilateral squatting. And I think what it really comes down to, yes, the back squat is probably one of the easiest ways to move a lot of mass. But is it functional? Is it the best for athletes? And I really think it depends on, one, what the sport you're playing is. Like, is it really the best for football players? And I might make your argument that, for linemen, that's a good exercise. It's very close to the stance they come out in. It allows them to kind of feel some of that compression on their body. Might not be the best for skill players like wide receivers, things like that. And I think that's where we get into this whole process, because the powerlifting squat is very different than an athletic squat, and that's kind of where we're going to originally go with this. If you look at powerlifting and squatting, right, moving max weights, it's not very fast. In fact, it's very, very slow. It's very controlled. It almost looks like they're doing elite powerlifters are doing tempo squats. And I don't think we really need to go in that direction, especially with athletes, right? And when we're looking at sports, we need to be able to use some form of stretch shortening cycle. We need to be able to develop muscle and tendon to be more reactive, and really be able to use some of that springiness. Now, obviously, then we can get into the functional side of things, because you can get a little bit better. You can be a little bit safer with the unilateral squats because the overall load is lighter, but you're still getting high muscle fiber recruitment. You can still use some stretch shortening cycle in there, and then you can still use, you're still creating a lot of force. So, when we're talking about athletic development and we're talking about squatting for max strength, you're going to want to use that back squat. But if you're squatting for overall athletic performance, I don't think you can really be tied down to a single exercise. Every athlete's going to have some different needs, and you've got to be able to have a bunch of different squatting patterns in your arsenal. But really what it comes down to, I think, is you have to look at characteristics and being able to use some of that stretch shortening cycle and developing that, and then also maintaining some functional movement. So, I don't know, my mind's just a little bit all over the place on that one right now, just because there's a ton of thoughts. I'm trying to condense them. But being able to understand that, there are different uses of the squat, but if we're looking at athletics, there's going to be a couple different wider ranges of squatting that we can use. So, just some thoughts for you this morning. And until next time, we'll see you in the passenger seat.